Welcome to Identify. We're going to be going over the topics for week 2. Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle like pills or another escape where offering a temporary fix for something deeper? If Ella's story resonates, share your experience in the comments below, share your experience in the comment section, and let us know how you guys feel. So let's get into these. First one is finding your purpose, a journey of exploration, self-discovery. And the first question or first topic is going to be knowing yourself. Explore your values, strengths, passions, and interests. Ask yourself, what excites me? What skills do I excel at? What brings me joy? So those are pretty deep ones, I think, in life. Like, let's just look back at that. Explore your values. Has anybody ever taught you values or core values for your life? Or have you ever thought about that or said and thought about that?
Yeah. I recently tried to kind of tap it into stuff like that when I started my healing journey.
Mm.
Um, and this was like some months ago.
All right.
So, but before, like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't into 'em with like my core values and stuff like that.
I think we learn them, but we call them traditions, and we learn stuff like this from our families or our parents. But sometimes just because that's what our parents or grandparents did doesn't mean that's what we have to keep doing. Or
Yeah.
maybe we find a different value, or whatever it is. Maybe our parents weren't really, or were super religious or not religious, but maybe it's about a religion and not a relationship. So maybe we change those up a little bit for us. Also, strengths and passions, your interests. Do you ever like evaluate yourself? Like, where are my strengths? Because my strengths aren't somebody else's strengths.
I do. I probably do it too much instead of just zeroing in on me.
Over evaluate it.
Yeah, instead of like trying to compare myself to other people's strengths or whatever. Just just do what I can handle,
Yeah, I hear that one. Amen to that. All right, so reflect on your experiences. I think this is going to also help us find some of our strengths and stuff because our experiences are also the things that we've survived, but also maybe the areas where we could help other people at. So let's see what it says. Reflect on your experiences. What events have shaped you? What lessons have you learned? What struggles have you overcome? You want to share any of yours?
man. Man, where do I start? So, um, I have I've been on drugs,
Mm.
been incarcerated, been shot.
Shot.
Yeah, I got shot in my face.
Wow.
Shot in my face and my leg.
Wow.
Uh, so I've definitely had to learn a few life lessons. Um,
That's definitely lived experience too. And one area I could see strength in is like helping other people who've been incarcerated, helping other people who've been addicted to drugs.
yeah,
Excuse me, addicted to drugs, and helping a family. Maybe not the person necessarily that's incarcerated. Maybe not the person who's on the drugs, but
but
even
family
helping their
members.
family members
Yeah,
understand what they're going through, or maybe the steps that they could do to help them. Because a lot of times, as a parent, we don't even know where to start at.
yeah,
If we had somebody come along and say, "Hey, you know what? I've been down that road. Let me tell you
there
something,
you
or let
go.
me share something with you."
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's very valuable. I think we overlook that too often. I think sometimes we're ashamed of our experiences because maybe they weren't the best thing. But
Facts.
sometimes our experiences are the things that, maybe we do need to share with certain people
Yeah, I
because it
agree.
can help them. So we're talking about identity too. So it's also part of finding your identity is the things that you've been through.
Yeah.
So it's like God has a purpose in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So God, like, you didn't surprise God one bit when
No.
you got addicted to drugs. You didn't surprise God one bit when you got incarcerated. You didn't surprise God one bit, like, that you got shot and that you also survived, which that's that's it's a pretty crazy thing to live through. It's something that how do you process that? Like how do you process that? Because some people get shot and it seems like you're still a healthy person,
Yeah.
but other people might have got shot and maybe they're in a wheelchair or maybe they struggle with it because the flashbacks or the memory of it happening.
It took a long time. I still struggle though. Being in crowded places or sitting in restaurants where I gotta be next to an exit or my back to the wall.
Mm,
But I've come to I've overcame a lot of it, and I think it started when I started journaling and stuff. When I started my self healing journey, and I kind of fell off. I got to get back on my stuff, but I'm gonna get back on my journaling because it helped me out a lot, bro. Like
yeah.
my PTSD went down, and like something like just when people would touch me without me really knowing that they were about to touch me, I would kind of jump.
Mm,
Like you put my I don't know. But I've come to overcome a lot of it though.
it's good, man. Thanks for sharing. Identify, identify your talent and skills. Consider your natural abilities and your acquired skills. How can they be used to benefit others? I think sometimes we just focus on like the really good stuff that we're at, but
Yeah,
also your experiences too. That's something that we don't look at too often. That's a gift.
I know.
So, do you what do you think about when you have talent and skills?
Um, I guess, man,
It's a tough one, huh? It's easy to like sometimes look at other people's talents and skills and be like, man, they're so good, but we have to evaluate our own.
what are mine? My talents and skills. I guess being able to um kind of if I don't know what I'm doing, I usually figure it out.
That's
And
good.
that's I like that's my skill. Like I don't know, bro.
That is a talent and skill because you're not letting it hold you back from moving forward. Like
Yeah.
just you even starting your businesses and you starting a new business and your entrepreneurship.
And
Like,
I've been working on this Google ad. I've been working on this Google ad for like 2 days now, trying to put it up. But I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna figure it out.
and there's a lot of resources out there too. So
Yeah, I'm watching a video. It's a step by step, but it's like an hour and a half long.
most people would just stop and be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
But your ability to move forward and push forward because it's something that you want.
yeah,
I think a lot of times people do stuff, but they'll think about it their whole life instead of taking the step. Like we may fail, but we also may succeed. But it isn't if you fail or succeed; is do you grow? I think that's
right.
what we have to look at: is can we grow through it?
Yeah, what do you get from it?
And I think that's what you're really good at: is you're able to grow no matter what circumstance or situation you're in.
Yeah,
You don't let it hold you back. You keep growing through it.
that's right. Yeah.
That's good, man. Connect with your values. What's truly important to you? What's a principles that guide your life? How can your purpose align with those values? Like the purpose that God's given you along with the values that you have. Like how can you align those together? I think that's what a lot of us are struggling with, especially if we, this is about identified beyond the 12 steps, making it through our addiction. Sometimes we focus so much, how could God use us, or maybe the value that we even place on ourselves. I think there's so much more to it.
I believe that I truly believe that God put me here for a reason because I've been through a lot, and I know I'm here to help people. I just don't know if I've found the way yet
Mm,
that I need to help people. So I try to, I try to extend a hand, whenever I can, if I can.
Yeah.
But I really truly believe that God put me here to help people, maybe to talk to young people, maybe just to talk to other people, and maybe just to share my story. But so that's why I try to share it as much as I can. I'm not ashamed of anything I went through. Um, I try to just put it out there because it's real, man.
That's
Life,
good.
life is real.
Kind of segues into our next topic: exploration and connection. Step outside of your comfort zone, try new things, meet new people, and explore different fields. You may discover the unexpected talent or passions. Just even you being here today, sharing your testimony, sharing your story, there's going to be people that can relate with you, and you're going to help them find their identity in whatever they've been through just because you're sharing today. Maybe they look at me and like, can't relate with him. I don't know who that guy is, but maybe they look at you and they're like, oh,
Yeah,
you know what? This guy, he's been shot, he's been incarcerated, he's been, you know, on drugs and stuff too. But look at him now. Now he's out here helping people, talking to people on a podcast, in a video for a course to help other people who are struggling.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's just stepping out and trying new things. Like you're living it right now.
yeah.
You're living it.
I know, right?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So talk to others, and I think that's kind of what you just said too. Is maybe you're supposed to be helping the youth or helping other people.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing. Seek advice from mentors, from friends, family, and people you admire, and then, you know, about the purpose and journeys and what drives them and what drives you. I think that's a big thing. Is sometimes we don't want to talk about it, especially the bad stuff. Like we want to hide it, right? Especially in recovery, we want to hide our addictions. We want to hide our things that we've done because we think it's going to make us look better. We want to put on this facade or this mask of something that we're really not.
hmm
But the truth is, we are who we are. God made us that way. God knew everything. God knew everything from the beginning, that everything that we've been through, everything that we even do now, even the thoughts we think. But for some reason, He still made you. He still made me.
yeah.
He didn't say, that's a defect. That's a bad one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make him or make them. It's like, He still made you, man.
Yeah,
He has a purpose for you. And I think that's what, we want to identify here is what is the purpose? What is the purpose of all this? Because if there wasn't a purpose, then it's just all meaningless.
definitely. I agree.
Volunteer and get involved. Contribute your time and skills to causes you care about. Helping others to lead personal fulfillment and connection to their purpose. And I think that's part of just sharing your testimony and sharing our stories too. Is it's going to lead people to finding their purpose. It's like, oh, look at, like, let me just ask you, when you were incarcerated or when you were on drugs or when you got shot, were you thinking right then, oh, I'm going to be on a podcast helping somebody someday?
No,
Or I'm going to be on a e-course video talking about my experience and sharing that so I could help other people?
no. Never crossed my mind around that time, honestly. Man, I was so far from this. It's crazy.
But you're here, man.
I know. I'm here now. That's right.
You're here now and you're doing it.
Talking
You-
about it.
Yeah, we don't know how many millions of people are going to help, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
how many lives you're going to be changing just because you're here today.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
awesome.
Read and learn, explore inspirational stories, biographies, and self-help books. You're talking to me earlier saying that you're doing some course now.
A Conquer Series course?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have finished the course. But they started another one. It's the Warpath. I didn't start that one. Only because it conflicts with this group.
All right.
So, and I like coming to our group.
Yeah.
So,
So we have a men's group on Wednesdays that we host, and Montel comes and helps us there and participates and shows up too. So, that's kind of right in line with this. Is the cool thing is you're kind of living out a lot of what we're going through right now. Which if we kind of start doing these things, really does make a difference. Like you said, like you never thought you'd be doing this, but
yeah,
now
it
you're
is.
doing now you're doing it.
It works.
Yeah. So
Just got to do the work.
and he's done the work without like going through this book first or without doing it first. Like he had done the work. He started go through his own like healing and his own processing, which helped him get here. And now look at what he's doing. He's here on a video. He's here filming. That's good. So part 3 is cultivating purpose. Formulate a purpose statement. Once you have a clearer understanding of yourself and your aspirations, articulate your purpose. I think if we actually write it out, or like you said, you like to journal some too.
Yeah.
I journal a lot too. Before I thought journaling was weak or made society thinks you're weak, but to tell you the truth, it's not.
No.
I think when you talk about something or you could articulate something in a healthier way than anger or drugs or addiction, I think that's actually a strength, not a weakness.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, in formulating a purpose statement, I think actually writing out like what your purpose is going to help you know. So, it's something you could fall back to, like your values or something. It's like and if you know, I mean, that's almost the most important thing. It doesn't matter. Eventually, if you know, everybody else will realize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set goals and take action. Break down your purpose into achievable steps. So, a lot of times we set goals or we do things, and me, I have a problem with that. I like to go big, right? I like to go really big.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to set goals or whatever it is, sometimes I set them too big to where I can't accomplish them.
Can't get 'em.
What's small goals that could lead to the big goal that I
There
could
you go.
achieve it?
Yeah. Break them big goals down to small ones.
The small steps that you could take almost every day.
Yeah.
What's one small step you could do every day?
Yeah.
Embrace growth and adaptation. I think that's a big one. What do you think of when you think of that?
Embrace growth and adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's just what we live every day. Just them them debates with the wife or them arguments with the wife, and whether you're right or wrong, you come and you say, "Baby, I'm sorry. What do you need me to do? What can I do to make this better?" And it's times like that where that's growth.
That's good.
That's adapting to your environment.
Sometimes it doesn't matter if you fall back or if you mess up or you slip up. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. Sometimes it's more important if you grow.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we just think, oh, we have to win or lose, or if I messed up one time, that's done. I lost all my sobriety.
Yeah.
It's not the truth. It means you just messed up one time.
That's right.
It just means you slipped up. But sometimes, we can't go one step forward to take 4 steps back. Sometimes we go 4 steps forward and maybe there is 1 step back, but then we got to keep going 4 or 5 steps forward and maybe there's another slip up. But
That's when we adapt and we figure out, well, okay, how can I minimize these losses? What am I doing? How can I not prevent this to happen again? And that's where that growth and adaptation comes from.
wow, that's deep. That's good, man. All right. I think this is the hardest one for me is celebrate your progress. Man, I could look at my failures all day long and
I know, right?
pretty much ponder on those, but celebrating our progress, even if it's a little progress, even if it's something I didn't do this week or something I didn't do today, is progress.
Yeah. And I try to just look back and just be grateful, man. Thank God that I am able to sit here and do this podcast with you, and that I'm grateful for my family and the friends that I do have, and my mom, and it's just Definitely, man. Got to be grateful.
Gratitude's a huge thing. I mean, a lot of times we focus on the things that didn't happen or that we don't have. Sometimes we have to look at what we do have, because I met a lot of people who don't have those things. And, you know, so remember, fulfilling your purpose, it's a personal journey with no right or wrong answer. Be patient, trust your intuition, and keep exploring. Your purpose may not be a single grand ambition, but a collection of smaller goals and passions that collectively give your life meaning. That's good. The most important thing is start somewhere. That's what I like about you, is you're not scared to start, man. A lot of people are scared to start something. Like, you know, you recognize your healing journey. And the thing I like is that you realize it's a journey. It's not a race.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're just going for one day. It's a journey. Journey's usually a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Moving forward, your purpose will unfold as your life, as you live, and as you learn, contribute to the world around you. I think that's one of the big things too, is sometimes we want things for us, but like we talked about earlier, it's not, it is, things are an opportunity for us to grow, but it's also an opportunity for us to teach others.
Yeah.
So it's, we can learn, but can you influence and teach those people around you, like your kids or your family?
Yeah.
So the pills, needles, the vice, they're often seen as the monstrous, so monstrous, and the villains of our stories. But like dust bunnies clinging to the corners, they're nearly just the, root. They're the root cause of a lot of things. There's something deeper that we need to explore, look at. So addiction, it varies in different forms and looks different to different people. And one thing we don't want to do is trade one addiction for another addiction. What we want to try to do is grow out of these addictions.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to wrap it up for our topics for today. But we thank you guys for joining us. And I just say stick with the 12 weeks, because, growth doesn't happen overnight. And sometimes it's just about finding your identity. And if we want to just do 1 week and think that everything was going to change, or 2 weeks, or maybe we messed up last week and now we're in week 2, why should we do week 3?
Yeah.
It's not the purpose of any of it. It's just growing through it.
Yeah.
So any advice or anything you want to share before we sign off?
I don't know. It's easy to lose sight, once you do start walking that journey, but just got to make sure you find that path back.
That's good. All right, you guys. This has been Identified Week 2.